everybody? It is time for Mat Therapy. Today we are at Villains Jiu Jitsu in Los Angeles with none other than the #1 welterweight contender in the world, Demian Maia. Demian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you on here.
Bex?
So let's start with the question that everybody wants to know. Are you going to finally get a title shot?
Yeah, they said so. They said that in my last fight, and they asking for dates, and my manager Eduardo is talking to them. So I hope, I guess around October or something like that would be perfect.
Okay, all right. Why do you think it has taken them so long?
But I just will believe when I get signed.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't believe it until the contract's signed. Why do you think it's taken so long for them to give you a shot? Because a lot of people feel like you should have gotten a shot a year ago.
I think there was many things, but I think with every UFC just got bought, that just was sold. So when they sold the UFC, there was a lot of they were trying to reorganize a lot of things, and all together with that. Besides that, there was also the draw in the first title fight with Woodley and Thompson, and they decided to do the next one. So there was many things, So and we don't know what really goes through people's mind inside the company sometimes. So you never know the real reasons.
Yeah. Do you think that because you seem like such a nice guy? In any sort of interviews that I've seen of you before a fight, you never have anything really bad to say about. You're not one to talk trash. And even after your fights, like I know you kind of give your opinions on the fight, but it's never malicious or anything. Do you think that has anything to do with it? Do you think?
Yeah, maybe. But in my understanding, is like I think. There's a space for everybody. There's a space for people to talk trash, and there's a space for people don't talk trash to, I always say, all kind of personalities. And
you've got to have the spectrum. You've got to have the baby faces.
It's like
and you've
a
got
movie.
To have the,
you have a movie and you don't want to have just the Darth Vader. You want to have everybody. So,
are you Luke Skywalker? Is that what you're saying?
No,
you're a Jedi?
no,
yes,
no.
Luke Skywalker.
So
you don't
I
know
what
what
you're
that
talking
means.
about.
She's never seen Star Wars.
I do know what you're talking about, but I've never seen those movies.
Okay.
I'm
so
a weird one.
Yeah. I just rewatched that because I watched when I was a kid and I never watch anymore.
Oh, really?
But then my kids are like 6 and 4. The girl is 6 and the boy is 4. So they love this stuff. So we start to rewatch with them just to.
Is it more fun to go back and watch with them? Because then you get to see their excitement,
their reaction.
Yeah. It's a hero movie, a very. How to say the history of the hero and all this stuff that have been told in many movies and books, but it's interesting to see the kids watching.
For sure. Now, have you seen? You've been here in Los Angeles training, but did you get to see Wonder Woman yet?
Not yet. I'm not really a fan of how to say. Superheroes.
You
got to take your little girl to see it, though.
You got to take your little girl to see it, though.
I will.
It's so cool because I've been waiting for a female superhero movie like this. Wonder Woman since I was a little girl. But going and seeing, this is how I explained it. Somebody this weekend said to me, there are many real women in the world that little girls can look up to. So why this? Because we've grown up. You and I are the exact same age. I was born in 1977, so we're exactly the same age. And when we were growing up, there's tons of movies that tell little boys, you can be smart, and you can be the hero, and you can be the president, and you can be anything you want. And now, little girls are hearing that too, and I actually teared up, watching that movie, because I was like, I've been waiting for this. So the little girl, it was amazing just to watch them celebrate everything. Strong women, smart women, training women, all of it was so cool. And I think it for me, it transcends being a superhero comic because little boys have had that their whole life, and this is the first time for
maybe
me
the girls don't have this role model.
That it wasn't about her sexuality. Like you look at other superhero movies and you're like, whoop, there are boobs, or you know what I mean? Like, and this wasn't really about that. It was really just about her strong spirit, and I totally appreciate it.
I would take care for sure.
Please do, please. It'll make me so happy.
I'll actually go see that movie. I will definitely. I don't go to the movies ever, so I will definitely go see this one.
A lot of things
but I need to find a dubbed movie, you know, in Brazil, like because she don't understand English, right?
Oh, don't they translate it? I can't imagine they would.
Yeah, they do, but I don't know if they will do right away for kids on
I hope they do.
Theater. Yeah.
This Wonder Woman actually speaks hundreds of, like, that's part of the ladies of the Paradise Island, is that they speak hundreds of languages.
Because they normally in Brazil, when you go to, if it's not a kids move, and they do just subtitles.
Oh, I see.
If you go to Spanish countries, maybe normally they dub.
Yes.
In Spanish countries, or not all, but you know, I think it's more common. In Brazil, it's always subtitles. If you go to the theater, you watch like American movie or some other place. But if it's for kids or, you know, maybe teenagers, then they will dub.
That would make sense that this one they would do that for. Hopefully.
How did you learn to speak English? Is it from training?
Actually, until like 20 or 21 years old, I was really bad in English. You know, I was struggling with English. But then I started to travel to teach seminars, and the first time I really, you know, travel in a long trip outside of Brazil, I went to Finland. Actually, the first big one. My first trip was in South America, my first couple trips, and then I went to Japan, but people don't really speak English there. You know, it's hard to find somebody speaking English in Japan. It's easier to find Portuguese, you know, than people speaking Portuguese. There's a lot of Brazilians
in
there.
Japan. That makes sense.
Because the Japanese community in Brazil is the biggest in the world. In São Paulo, in my city. So we have a lot of Japanese. That's why, I did judo when I was a kid, and a lot of kids, they do judo in São Paulo because we have a lot of Japanese there. They come the first war, the second war, and between that, so a lot of people came.
Oh, is it like a refuge, refuge thing?
Like all Europeans in Brazil
that's
came.
Awesome.
Yeah, like here also, you know, it's the same. The foreigners come.
Here it's warm and tropical. We're gonna go down there and eat some acai.
He also speaks pretty fluent Spanish, right?
Spanish, it's easier because it's pretty similar, so I travel a little bit to South America. But then the first big trip outside that I stayed longer time was to Finland. And it's easier speaking English than Finnish, right? So, and everybody speaks pretty good English there. Pretty good English. Their grammar is perfect because, you know, it's not their first language. So
so they had to really study
properly, I stayed 3 weeks in a friend's house, and you know, I speak with him and his wife. I try to speak and communicate and teach, and you know, I start to pick it up, and then I travel to here and start to go, and then I start to learn.
Very nice. Now, did you actually learn? Like, did you study it, or was it just from talking that you learned?
In school in Brazil, we have a little bit, you know, maybe twice a week.
Sure.
Now it's more. Now like my kids, they have more. And when I was a kid, there was no English. Just when you get like for the, I don't know, his first grade or when you get like around 11 years old. What is that?
Here it's probably about
5th or 6th, maybe grade, like middle school.
Middle school, exactly. Middle school before high school.
Yes.
So that was the first contact we had with English when you were a kid in the 80s. And 90s.
I think it's cool they teach you it all. They don't teach us anything here.
Yeah, but
Spanish.
But then now, like my little girl, my little boy, they are with like 3 years old. They have some couple of days in a week. They have English classes.
Really, that's good.
So that's good because they get used to it. You know? And they get a chance to travel also. You know, sometimes with me.
I was going to say, do you ever bring them here with you when you're in camp?
They came a few times. They came to California. They came to Las Vegas. They came to New York, Miami.
Do they watch you fight?
Or
do you let them?
I let if they want, but they don't really care. You know, they don't understand too much. They don't really care. I don't put pressure on them, and nobody watches live my fights. You know, my family.
They don't.
No,
too stressful.
Really? Yeah, nobody. Never, never. Even on TV, never live.
Really? Your wife never watches
No,
you? Does she
never.
ever come to your fights?
Never. Yeah.
Wow, why?
She came to a lot of Jiu-Jitsu fights,
Yeah.
but it's too, I think she would feel too nervous.
Yeah, for sure. It's
so
definitely hard.
she doesn't watch even on TV live. She can watch after, but not during the fight.
So do you usually call her and give her the results of your fights
actually,
first?
they are all with my mother and my aunt praying and this stuff, during the fight. And somebody will call right away.
I was going to say, I'm sure somebody is
somebody
watching
will
it
call,
live.
Yeah. Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Like in my kids' in school, all the parents of my kids, they're my friends, so they normally have parties to watch, and
for sure.
So everybody watch, and they call right away.
So
everybody call her right away,
because they know she's not watching. She's too
yeah,
nervous.
Yeah, everybody
so
knows.
They call to update her.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean,
That's really
I
cool.
get nervous watching my own friends fight.
For sure.
So I can't imagine to have the person my person out there.
Yeah.
I would.
Now that we've met you, I'm never going to be able to sit down during one of your fights again. I pace.
Yeah, she does. She walks back and forth.
Yeah, it's hard. One day I was watching. I've been training with Vanderlei back in the 2008 here in Vegas, and I've been training a lot of Rodrigo Nogueira, and Rogério in Brazil back in 2009 and 10. So one day I was watching their fights. They fought in the same card. I was, and then I had a dog, and the dog I was watching the fight. I was so nervous that one time I looked to my dog, and my dog was shaking because he realized, and animals, they feel much better than we do because they don't speak, and they just listening and observing everything. So my dog realized I was so nervous, and I was really nervous, but I didn't say nothing. I was just quiet watching, but I don't know how he
felt your energy.
When I saw, he was like this, shaking.
Oh,
it was
poor
crazy.
baby.
How
You're like, it's okay, we're gonna win.
feel.
We're gonna win. It's okay.
Yeah.
Dogs are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They feed off your energy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wow.
Yeah, I love dogs. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, me too. We just rescued a dog 2 weeks ago. We were driving down my street and we saw this little dog.
I did that a couple of times in Brazil.
3
I rescue in the street and bring back, and this dog actually is a mix with street dog, because in Brazil we have a lot of street dogs, so it's a mix with street dogs and pit bull. So this one, I had him for many years, and then he died. It was really heavy, and because I liked that, and there was the other one, a yellow lab that I adopted too, and so I went to do learn how to be a dog trainer in that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was back in 2003, I think. Vitor Belfort was training in São Paulo in that time, so I remember I would train with him and leave the trainer, stay 4 hours with the dog trainer, learning how to dog train with my dogs. So that was for about 1 month. So it was hours and hours of training dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I learned some stuff.
You grew up in São Paulo?
São Paulo, yeah.
How did you find jiu-jitsu? Does every kid in Brazil grow up you definitely play football, right? Soccer?
Oh yeah, everybody wants to
play. And so does everybody also do jiu-jitsu?
I want to be football player when I was, soccer player when I was a kid, yeah. Everybody wants to be. Jiu-jitsu, when I was growing up in the 80s, was very big in Rio de Janeiro. But in São Paulo was small. Judo was really big, which is pretty similar. But so every kid would do judo in São Paulo. And I always loved martial arts. I started pretty young, and then I stopped judo. I started and stopped when I was 5, 6 years old. And then I started again traditional martial arts when I was 12. And then I started to watch some Vale Tudo fights in that time, which was MMA. I said, I want to do this, I want to do Jiu-Jitsu. I saw the guys fighting. First MMA fight, or a Vale Tudo fight that I watched, I was maybe 14 years old, something like that.
Okay.
I was pretty young. It was before UFC. So I saw live in São Paulo. I went there, and I never saw that before. I was doing martial arts. I said, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then I find out the Jiu-Jitsu guys, and how effective it was, because they won all the fights against other styles. So I said, I want to do that. I want to learn that.
So who was your first jiu-jitsu coach?
I trained for 1 year with a guy. His name is Fabio Araújo. For 1 year, he's now in New Jersey, I think, and he's under Carson Gracie School. Actually, he's not. direct student under Carlson. He's a student of a guy named Amaury Posidente, and then he learned from this guy, and this guy is under Carlson. He trained at Carlson Academy too. Then he moved to São Paulo. I started with him, and then after about a year, I moved to Fábio Gurgel and stayed till the black belt.
And that's who
with
you've
Fábio
been
Gurgel.
with?
Yeah.
So your lineage is, do you fall under, because I don't know what other lineages.
Fábio, you know, basically my main teachers were Fábio, and in that time, at the academy, it was not just Fábio teaching, but also Leonardo Vieira, Leozinho, and Fernando Tererê, other guy.
Very
So
cool.
I was, you know, they're more like, you know, my friends, my brothers, and we hang together. But they were my coaches also, and Fábio was the main teacher, main coach.
What was the thing? So I know you went and you watched it, right? And did it look cool? Was it the punching? What was it that? Because you are a fighter, you know, you are an MMA fighter, but you are a jiu-jitsu master, and that's how you, like, everybody who loves jiu-jitsu, when you start to fight, we're like, oh, the jiu-jitsu's coming.
Yeah.
So at what point were you like, this is the thing that I love, and like, how did you, I don't even know what I'm trying to ask. What's the point that you fell in love, and then how did you master that as an MMA fighter?
The point that I first fell in love with jiu-jitsu is to see like smaller guys winning against big guys.
Yeah.
And to see that in jiu-jitsu the technique matters.
Yeah.
It's not like, if you're a boxer or a Thai boxer, the weight division makes a tons of difference, you know. So that's why I said, you know, if some woman come to me and say, I want to learn how to defend myself, I say, go train jiu-jitsu, because if you are a good Thai boxer but there's a huge guy and try to hold you, it's very hard. But you know, I see every day, and I saw so many times like very small jiu-jitsu fighters fight, not just a guy who doesn't know nothing, but a guy who knows to fight, like also a black belt, like 100 pounds heavier, and the smaller one wins. That's for me, it was so amazing that the technique can make, you know, such a great difference. Yeah. That's the first thing that, you know, hooked me up with jiu-jitsu. That was the main thing, and the thing that you can fight from the bottom, and you don't need to, you know, winning just to be on top. If you want the body, you have your attack. That was very impressive for me when I was, you know, growing up also.
Very nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you?
So basically, you know, this technique and self-defense.
For sure. And you translate that into your MMA. I mean, what better place to have self-defense than when somebody's trying to kill you?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I think the only thing that is different in MMA is, like, in a real self-defense, maybe you're gonna have like not just one guy attacking you.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe, and but if it's just one-on-one, is the ultimate self-defense is MMA, right? But I think jiu-jitsu, even people say, but if it's one-on-one, it's okay, but it's two-on-one, but I say, look, jiu-jitsu, we have options for everything. So when you learn self-defense, when you teach the first self-defense, okay, you take the guy down and then you go down and do some submission, because you want to teach all the concept of jiu-jitsu. But when I teach self-defense, like real self-defense, you just teach the guy like to defend a punch and take the guy down and be ready to the next one, or do an armbar stand-up. You know, you don't need to invert the armbar stand-up, or you don't need to go to the ground necessarily.
Yeah. You
can just, you know, use jiu-jitsu as a concept and use the self-defense just to the point that you go almost to the ground, but you don't go, then you can defend yourself better.
And as far as like for women, and we've talked about this before, that when a woman's being attacked, typically, it's not usually a guy trying to beat her up. I mean, it does happen. I think a larger percentage of attacks for women are some sort of sexual attack, or just it's not a stand-up battle. Like you're not punching.
It's like holding battle.
It's holding. So that's where jiu-jitsu can definitely help. Like being, you know, we talk about this being on, you know, a lady being on her back, being attacked.
Exactly.
It's a really powerful position in jiu-jitsu to be on your back.
And the guys doesn't know. I remember there was a girl who used to train with us at the first academy. She said her boss tried kind of, sexual attack her. Kind of, start like, oh, come here and try to, and putting her down. But really, really try to. And then I think she armbar him or, triangle choke.
Good,
because, the guy doesn't know what to do. But so he thinks the guard is like a, if he's on guard, he's in a dominant position.
A good place, yeah.
So that's why it's so good for everything,
Yeah.
Well, I also think it's cool. I teach specific self-defense seminar, and when I talk to my ladies, I think teaching women, I don't think it's realistic to teach women to strike as a first form of self-defense, number one.
I think so, yeah.
But secondly, because women a lot of times have this thing where they don't want to hurt the other person even if they're being attacked, Jiu-Jitsu gives you that ability to control and shut down the situation without actually inflicting damage. And I think it's much more attractive to women because of that, as far as the self-defense goes. And like, I'm sure you've seen the video of the woman
especially here that, that's different. If you understand like the Latin culture and the culture here, it's very different. Like when I remember I came here first time, and in Brazil, people, they hold a little bit more the arguments, but when they argue, normally goes to a fist fight.
Yeah.
Right. And here, I remember I was in Hollywood, that was 10 years ago, and there was the two guys arguing like this close, and I stopped and said, now they're gonna fight, and they argue like for 5 minutes, like a scrimmage, and they didn't fight. That's never gonna happen in Brazil.
Right.
If you argue like that, the guy will punch you right away.
Yeah.
But here there's this, people sue you really quick,
true.
right?
Yes.
And this culture of sue, that makes Jiu-Jitsu even better because you don't need to hurt, you can just control the people, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best way.
Have you seen the video of that woman somewhere in Brazil? I think she was a fighter. Some guy tried to mug her and she put him in a reverse triangle, and he was like crying and he was like, please let me go, and people were videotaping it.
I think so. I think I saw that. Yeah. Like a year ago or a couple years ago.
Something
years ago,
I think
and she just held him until somebody got there.
Yeah.
It was great.
Now, how long have you been a professional fighter?
You mean professional, like MMA fighter?
Yeah.
So I fought MMA first time professionally in 2001, but I was more Jiu-Jitsu fighter still.
Yeah.
Then I fought end of 2005, and then I didn't stop anymore because I fought end of 2005 and then end of 2006, and then 2007 I got in the UFC. So, like being professional in MMA, like I think since 2005.
What do you think of how the sport has like become a culture, and where do you see us going? Like, do you see MMA getting to be one of like the top 3 sports, like on the same level as like basketball, baseball, football, soccer, like all of that? Do you see that happening?
In a short term or long term?
I don't know. Whatever. What do you think?
I don't know. It's so hard because with the technology, things are going so fast and things are changing so fast. You never know. Like, if you see, like 100 years ago in the United States, I think baseball and boxing are the biggest one, right? And there was not too much basketball and soccer and football, and now football is the biggest one here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then soccer is getting bigger also. And so if you think about the next 10 years, I would think we'll keep growing, but I don't think we'll be.
You don't think
on
we'll
that
get there?
level?
No.
Do you think?
But if you think like in 50 years, who knows?
Yeah.
You think, like you guys, fighters, specifically in the UFC, just because they're the biggest promotion, will be getting paychecks like football players?
I think so. I think in the future, I don't know if I will be able. I don't think I will be able to be in this era.
Yeah.
But I think like you mean like a real
like
employees.
when you even the bench warmers in the NFL get like, I don't know, $500,000 or I'm guessing
crazy.
something like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is like they are employees, so they get a contract.
Oh.
And doesn't matter if you hurt or if you playing or not, you get a contract for 3 years. And the difference for us is like, it's per fight.
It's each fight you sign a different contract.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, let's say you do a 8-fight deal, but you lose one fight, then they can kick you out.
Yeah. Oh, they can make the choice to
exactly
cut you.
In the contract. So if you lose one fight, you can be released.
Just one? I thought it was 3.
No, just one. You can be released. So the difference with these guys is like, if you have like a 3-year contract in NFL, you need to, finish the 3-year contract. If you want to release the guy, you need to pay like.
You pay him a certain amount.
Exactly.
You have to pay out his contract.
Exactly.
To a certain extent.
So that's, I think, the biggest difference, and I think will be different in the future.
Do you think that'll change?
Yeah, the sport is too young still.
It's a baby.
Yeah, if you talk about other sports, they're way older.
So would you like to see the point that you become an employee of the UFC? Is that something? Champion.
I think
Demian
I think it's good. It would be good because then you can plan, better.
Yeah.
Because now what I see, I've been in the UFC for 10 years, so for me it's more like I already have a career, but if you're starting, it's very, let's say I saw it happens to some boys in Brazil, like they start and they have like 3 fights, so they start to have a different life, they start to get their coach and pay their coach and make all different environment around them, and which is good because they want to get better. And then they lose 1 fight or 2 fights in a row, they get dropped, so they need to come back to teach class, everything, so they cannot plan for the future. At the same time, because they don't know if they want to be there after next fight, you never know. So what happens is they could invest more money in training, but they keep saving
just
as much as they can.
Because you never know where your money's
coming from. You never know, exactly. So it's about, planning your future. If will be much better if it's like a,
it makes sense.
a different concept.
Well, more than any other sport, obviously other sports are hard on the body, but there is no sport that is as hard on the body as fighting.
Yeah.
And I feel like some promotions should be taking care of their athletes. I've said it 1,000 times on this podcast, and I will continue to say it, especially as fans. If we want to continue to watch you guys fight and we love the sport, we're asking you to break your bodies for our own entertainment. It's right to take care of you guys and your bodies. And
I think the body is the easiest part. I think, especially for strikers, the damage that you get to your brain, that's the worst. I think, myself, I'm a grappler, so I didn't get too much damage, and I keep, I'm gonna be able to be healthy, I think. But I see some guys that you talk to them, after a few years they are different.
For sure.
It changes.
Oh, and then there's impulse control that comes along that is directly associated with head damage, and you see that in a lot of behavior, and fighters that maybe even haven't made it to the top ranks, and then you see them having domestic issues that you can directly relate to their impulse control. I mean, there's so many layers to it, and those of us who just want to keep watching it have to support that. We have to.
Well, and as fans, I think people as fans, what they see is they see what you go out there and do in the cage, but they don't see what you do,
the training.
The fact that you do that every day or multiple times a week, they don't see that.
No, even inside the UFC, sometimes people don't understand. Even people who work with that, they after the fight, you fight and the fight is like a minute and a half, and then the guy, okay, you can fight right away because there was no problem during the fight, was no hurt and all, but people don't understand what we passed through to get in that fight.
5 minutes
so
in the cage
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's minute and a half or it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. That's the small amount of the training. All the training camp that you did and everything that you did. That's why you need to rest after a fight and recover a little bit and start easy again after a couple weeks and then build again and start a camp again. So
Plus, like all the weight cutting and stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, I saw many people, you know, who understand it, and journalists and people inside the UFC desk. Oh, just fought 1 minute, you can fight right away. You can fight in 1 month. So
you're like, no.
It doesn't work like that, you know. If you go in there and train, you're going to understand.
For sure, but I think that listening to you talk comes with a lot of wisdom that you go and try and tell a 20-year-old that. You're like, no, I feel great. I feel great. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, coach. And you're like, yeah, but you don't understand the recovery or how your body's going to feel in 15 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. People don't look, they never look long term.
Seriously, especially not fighters, like young fighters. I train with a lot of young fighters, and man, you're like, all right, you got to focus.
Exactly.
But I think that also comes with the paycheck too. Like if they don't fight, they don't get paid too. Yeah, so they want to try and get out there with it.
But it's a tricky thing because okay, if you don't fight, you don't get the paycheck. But if you lose, maybe you're not gonna get any paycheck anymore.
It's true.
So you gotta balance that because people say, I wanna keep fighting because I wanna keep making money. Yeah, it's good, but if you keep winning.
Yeah. Right? Only if you win.
So it's kind of tricky. It's not so simple.
Yeah. Well, it's not black and white. I mean, for everybody, it's different. You know, for you, it might be 3 months. For somebody else, might be 4 or 5 months.
Exactly.
So have you ever heard? Do you follow American sports at all?
I like basketball, but I don't understand too much about.
Okay, well, that's actually what I was going to bring up. So they get a lot. Obviously, you know this. They get a lot of money when they join the NBA or something like that. And nobody ever teaches these young kids how to deal with their money. So in the recent years, a lot of fighters have a lot of basketball players have taken it upon themselves to like teach the incoming guys like how to manage their money, how to look out for people who are trying to use them, like, all of those things. Do you see yourself and other people who have been in the fight game for a long time doing stuff like that, like taking fighters under their wings? Is that part of like when you bring maybe a young fighter into your team and you're going to train him or something like that?
Yeah, of course.
Is that part of it?
Of course, it's much way less money.
Yeah.
And basically, normally they need to fight to pay their bills, and that's it. There is no money to save, at least in the first fight.
Yeah.
But of course, I give advice, and I think one thing that I was thinking about in the future is maybe to advise and to be a consultant to the guys. Not just but for everything, for training, for management, for and how to deal with social media and journalists and investments, everything in the future. But like I said, there is going to be one point that the money will be bigger and will be more consistent money, not just per fight, but so people will be able to plan their life ahead, and then I think I have a lot of experience to pass.
I think that would be an incredibly valuable thing.
Because I've been all around, I've been in training, and I see, how I've been dealing with media. I've been doing my taxes in Brazil, in Canada, in United States,
oh wow,
all around the world.
That makes my head hurt just to hear you say
we need to learn that.
I've never even thought about that.
Nobody teaches that. You need to, and everything that I learn, I know that I can pass.
For sure.
In the future, maybe in a book, maybe in a as a consultant. I was thinking about that in one point.
I think it's a good idea.
I never even thought about that.
We're at your one of your affiliate schools here in Los Angeles. Yeah. How many schools do you have?
In Brazil, I don't know right now, but I think around more than 10 affiliate schools.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, but I keep, actually, I keep this very small still. Like here in the United States, 5 or 6, if I'm 6 affiliate schools. So, and we have one in Portugal, and I think now we're gonna have one in Russia. But it's, I keep this still really small, and we didn't advertise too much because I always talk to the guys. I wanna keep the quality very good because this is not my main business right now. So what I do is I wanna do that because I wanna bring something that I believe, which is like teach good jiu-jitsu for the people. And so every year we have a camp, like 4 or 5 days that we meet, like everybody comes. So the guys from Oklahoma, the guys from Massachusetts, the guys from Miami, guys from Napa Valley, Chicago, and then each year is one place. I had one guy in Canada.
Oh, you visit different, you go to different schools when you do that?
No,
to do the camps?
Yeah, I go to one school, and everybody, all the affiliates, they come to the same school.
So this year it was here.
This year was in LA.
For like the last 5 or 6 days.
Exactly. We start on Wednesday and we finish Saturday, and so it was pretty much, you know, I'm teaching them the program that I use, like from beginners, for fundamentals class, for intermediary class, and so on. And also get a chance to train with them because, you know, because there's many academies, I cannot go every time and train with everybody. So, you know, I got to train with my...
So you have a summit and they all come to you.
It's like a summit, yeah. Exactly. So, and I want to train with the guys who are teaching because they are my students in the end of the day, you know. And I want also, you know, to teach them or to show how I like to teach, how I like them to teach, and how I believe that, you know, we should teach, and as a jiu-jitsu as a complete martial art, not just, you know, sport jiu-jitsu, or not just self-defense, or not just no gi or gi, so all together. And you know, I develop a program with basic stuff, self-defense and fundamentals and drills and everything that I come and teach them, you know, and to pass, then they can pass to the other.
So you have an entire curriculum that you like?
Yeah, I do, and they have like a special place in my website that they are able to access with a password, and they have this curriculum there, everything. And
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have any ladies that are close to becoming your first black belt?
Oh, yeah.
I have one lady in my academy, Marcia Souza. She's, you know, maybe the best teacher in the academy. Everybody loves her. And she came to me, she was a red black belt, but she came to me like 10 years ago. And she became first she was just a student, you know, training, and she became a teacher. And she came to me one day and said, we need to have a ladies class, you know. And I was, okay, but you think we're gonna be enough girls to open one more? And then she started, man, the girls, they love her, and you know, her class is always full of girls, and they love her, and she, you know, they talk to her, they treat her so well, they bring gifts to her all the time, and she's very good, she's very technical, and she was years without competing because she was more focused on teaching, and she just competed in Brazil in a championship there in 61, so it was very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't have one from the white to black belt yet.
Okay.
But
you will soon.
Yeah, I will.
Bet.
Yeah, but she's the main woman in my academy, you know, Marcinha, this girl.
What do you find more personally, like, fulfilling in your heart, to win an MMA fight or to see your students like become killers on the mats?
Yeah, I think, you know, the last years, I wasn't teaching that much like I used to do. Like when I get in the UFC, so I was mainly, jiu-jitsu is funny because normally when you are an athlete, you're younger, you're just an athlete, and maybe you become a teacher when you're older. So jiu-jitsu is different because the two things go together. So you always, when you start, you're always like an athlete, but you're also a teacher because you want to, you know, make your living, right? So I started jiu-jitsu and I was competing and teaching, and I just stopped to teach, like everyday teaching, when I get to the UFC in the second year, in 2008, I started to teach every day and put some of my students to teach. So I go once in a while and teach, and basically I look a lot the classes, I look because I'm training the academy every day, look the teachers and to advise them. And one thing that I just did, I have a blackboard by the wall, and I write the techniques of the week. So all the teachers will follow the same techniques.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, let's say, it's not one specific technique, but it's this week we're gonna work like back attack, or we're gonna mount attack or side escape. So they know, you know, and they can come to me and ask, oh, I prefer this or that, but they are free to choose their techniques, but in that subjective. So what I want to say is, like, before I was teaching a lot and was very nice, and the worlds were in Brazil, so I was able to make some world champions.
Yeah.
But now I stopped to teach, and there were other people are teaching in my academy, which is nice, but one big problem that we have is, like, a lot of boys, they try to come here, but first they need to get money to come here to fight in the worlds. Like, I mean about big tournaments. And second, they go to get a visa, and many times they don't get the visa. So
they
even
have
there is
to have a reason for it,
yeah,
right?
like in my academy, but even if you have a reason, I want to fight the worlds, and they don't give you, because look, what is funny is, and I just said to the guys yesterday in the worlds, they gotta do the worlds around the world, not just in California or not just in Rio de Janeiro like they used to do. Because you got to develop the sport around the world. If you see, Rio de Janeiro was the main city in the world about Jiu-Jitsu till 2006, Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, and Brazil. So when you move in 2007 the worlds to here, so now California is maybe all the world champs are training here, even they are most of them are Brazilians, they training here in California. So you gotta go in other places too. And
experience.
I spoke to them, they said, but it's so organized. I said, yeah, it is, you know, and it's nice that, you know, it became so great. Like today, it's much more organized. But you gotta go around the world, because the boys, like, there is some, let's say, wealth people in my academy, and they say, okay, I will pay for that boy, I will pay for that kid,
that's nice.
I will pay for that girl to go. And that it happens all the time. They go to get a visa, and the first thing they ask the visa, well, what's your income? But it's just a boy that has no income, very little income, because it's just an athlete with 18, 19, 20 years old. They have nothing. I had nothing that time when I was there. So they don't give the visa. So
because they don't have an income?
Yeah, exactly. Because they ask for your...
Well, they have no way to support themselves, because when you're on a visa, you also can't work. So you have to have a way to...
Exactly, but then they say, we just want to fight. You know, we just go there. Everything's paid for this guy. He's my sponsor. I go there and fight and come back. But they didn't get the visa. Especially now, it's even harder. After, you know, changing the government here, you know, it's harder.
That's affected fighters who had fights scheduled. In the United States.
Yeah. So it makes me a little sad that, you know, they just do the world in one place. They should go around. You know,
Agreed.
Should move it to a different
place.
place.
Like Portugal or Finland is very good. You know, Scandinavia is, you know, big in Jiu-Jitsu. Or like, let's say Argentina is just this, you know, very close to Brazil, and Jiu-Jitsu is not so developed there. If you start to do sometimes a world champion there, it's going to start to develop.
That's a good point. And every other sport that I can think of, their world championships or, you know, world events are at different locations every year.
So I didn't answer your question.
Not the Los Angeles.
I didn't answer your question. It's great to have a kid winning, and but of course I'm still an athlete, you know.
For sure.
For me, it's more important I win, you know, and I'm competing. But of course, it's great to have them winning, and in the future even more. But what is sad is that in the past, I made a lot of in my academy world champions, and now we don't make anymore because, you know, there was not everybody can go to the worlds.
They don't have the opportunity
for
the title.
Exactly. So and if they don't go, not just they don't win, but they don't. Let's say maybe if they go every year, they don't win this year and next, but then the other year they will win. So let's say they are blue belt and they don't win as a blue, but they do a tough fight. Then the next one they don't win as a blue also, but they get like third or second. Though they get purple, get confidence, and next year they will win as a purple. But then when they come here, they're really afraid. For most of them, the first time they live Brazil, and they don't know.
It's
they
kind
don't
of
know
like the UFC contract. If you lose, it can damage your career.
And they don't know how to. I remember when I came here first time to fight at Panams, and I thought it was like in Brazil. In Brazil, you can walk. Most places you can walk, and everywhere. And it was in LA, in Carson.
You're like, I can't walk anywhere.
And they say, okay, you gotta rent a car. I said, yeah, but I have no money. And I don't need it. I just walk, and grab it.
Yeah.
And the hotel they put us was, that I bought some package, and they put us in a hotel. Was by the freeway, the 405, I think.
Oh God.
405, yeah.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen so much traffic in your entire life?
Yeah, São Paulo is big, but I mean, there was nothing less than a mile away or 2 miles away. So you could walk. So I was kind of locked in the hotel and waiting for, friend to bring me to the...
Yeah.
And the only thing that we could eat there was a cow junior by the hotel, but you don't eat that when you want to fight.
Right, of course, yeah.
But that, what I was eating. And the same happens to everybody. So it's getting hard. And I hope they change. They start to do the wars around the world, not just in California or not even just in Brazil, but around the world.
It would make sense to travel the world. Yeah. Okay, I have a question that might get some people's panties in a ruffle.
Okay.
How do you feel about sub-only versus points?
I like both. I think there is a space for both. They talk about sub-only for many years now. It's not a new thing, right?
Sure.
It's a thing that we start. If you go in Brazil in the 90s, there was some championships or like that, like half an hour or 1 hour. Or,
really?
Or like Renzo Grace fought like that,
A 30-minute match, they were like, just go. We'll
30 or 1 hour and just sub, no points.
Okay.
The problem is, it's hard to make this, to plan time and this kind of thing.
When it's no time limit, definitely. That's more difficult to
be
able to.
But it's all about experience. You gotta try different models. I saw like Eddie Bravo, he does EBIs.
Yes.
So if there is, I never really saw, but I see that if there's no points till certain time, then the guy start in the back and start in the middle. It's interesting. It's interesting. So, people are testing new stuff, and I think it's just about testing new stuff. It's interesting, And the main thing is, what I think about Jiu-Jitsu is like they need to simplify the rules, like regular IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu. Like for me, like ADCC are the best rules. ADCC rules it's easy to understand. Like you on bottom. You flip the guy and go on top, it's 2 points no matter what. So it doesn't need to be like a sweep, can be like a sweep, can be like a just flip over, can be anything. If the guy's if the guy fall on bottom, even if he's on your side and you throw the guy because it's, that's the principle of the thing. You gotta follow the principle.
You're showing a skill.
Yeah, if you're on bottom and you're able to turn the guy, it's a sweep.
Yeah,
right. It doesn't need to be like this kind of sweep or that kind of sweep.
Yeah, your leg didn't have to be here, your arm.
Exactly, and also you need to stabilize the position because
I think that's the most important part.
That's the most important.
Establishing that.
Establish the position because if you just hit the guy, then the guy come back. That's like Jiu-Jitsu nowadays, but they do that already. And the other thing is to get the time a little bit shorter. I think 10 minutes is... Jiu-Jitsu, of course, it's a fight that you need time to develop, but I think 8 minutes or 7 minutes would be more than enough to keep, the technique flowing. I think 10 minutes is like that, the guy will hold a lot for like 4 or 5 minutes.
The last few minutes
and it's hard for the referee to give, everybody say, you just give penalties, give warnings. But it's hard, if a really top level guy, the referee feels like pressure. It's just not true, they're gonna give a lot of warning, especially the final of world champion. The guys hold a little bit, and the referee will refuse to give warnings if it's a draw fight. It will be hard. So
I think that's wrong on the athlete's part. We've talked about that, stalling and doing something just to maintain your points kind of takes away the spirit of the sport.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like we're there to fight. We're there to prove which one of us is better on the mat at that moment.
But then on the other hand, if you watch, and I don't know if you've experienced this before, but watching some of the UFC fights where it's on the ground and it's there's a grappling battle going on and we can see it.
Yeah.
But they still stand them up because
they don't.
Did you see? Gosh, what was his name? It was Carlos Jr. and Spicer on Saturday night. They spent the entire 3 rounds in 50-50 position. It was like a combat jiu-jitsu match. Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. The crowd didn't seem to love it as much, which I was really surprised because they were in Brazil. But I think it's Spicer. I'm hoping I'm saying the right name. One of them was determined to keep the entire fight on the ground, and it was so fantastic to watch as a jiu-jitsu person. Yeah, I was like, this is amazing. All the matches could be like this as far as I'm concerned. It was really cool. But I'd like to see more fights like that in the UFC take place on the ground because you can punch just as much on the ground. Don't get me wrong, striking is awesome. Everybody loves a good striking match.
Yeah, of course.
But it was
and
really
the nicest
cool.
thing about MMA is you can have all this. The nicest thing about MMA, you can have all this spectrum. You know, you can have sometimes guys just striking, boxing, Thai boxing.
Yeah. They are building Transformers next door.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Voltron.
And some fights are more like, you know, jiu-jitsu fights. So that's what makes MMA interesting, I think.
Yeah.
If the people just like, you know, jiu-jitsu, they gotta watch jiu-jitsu. If they just like striking, they gotta watch Thai boxing or boxing. But if you like MMA, you gotta learn to appreciate everything.
You have to. Yeah. And I think a lot of kind of casual fans are the ones that only want to see the striking. They're like, knock him out. We want to see blood. And you're
they want to see something crazy.
I want to see the technique. I'm a nerd.
Yeah, me too. I think sometimes, you know, like some fights, I'm not gonna name it the fights, but some fights they say, oh, that's the best fight that I ever saw. It's just a brawl.
And they're just like,
it's interesting to see because Big Hard is always,
of course.
And I admire the fighters. But this is not the best fight ever, for sure. Yeah. You know, that's a very nice to see, you know, 2 guys who really wants to win. Yeah. And it's admirable to watch that. But that's far from being the best fight.
Oh, for sure.
Because best fights for me is the most technical fight.
The technical ones, yeah. So, I mean, you've probably done the best job of anyone to bring jiu-jitsu into the UFC and like to actually showcase it in the cage because there's
and if you see like stand-up fight like Dominic Cruz or Anderson Grace back there or Jojo, it's great to see their striking game because it's so technical. Or if you know if you see some wrestlers who are very good wrestlers like Demetrius Johnson when he shoots, you know, his wrestling is so amazing. You know, when he gets the guys down and his speed and technique. That's for me a good fight. You know?
Anything that DJ does is kind of amazing.
Yeah, like a brawl, like a crazy brawl. It's very nice to see and exciting, of course. But it's not the best fight, of course. You know? You cannot say this is the best fight ever.
So you don't have to give any names, but have there been moments in fights when you've gone heavy on the jiu-jitsu? Because I know you've knocked guys out, you've won in all types of ways. But have there ever been a fight when like we can't maybe see it in the audience or on TV, but you know you've broken them with your jiu-jitsu? Like, have you ever like been in the middle and been like, I got this shit?
Mentally, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, many times, almost every fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see when the guy is frustrated, you know.
And you hear the breathing change.
Oh yeah. And you know, I hear the.
I mean, that body triangle will change anybody's breathing.
You can feel the fear of losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is.
We've all been there.
When you can feel the guy when he
realizes that
he's not finding a way out.
Yeah.
So of course you can feel that. Yeah.
Is that the cool thing about having such a strong jiu-jitsu arsenal? Is that you're with the top level guys in the world. You guys can all, you know, bang and like anybody can get caught with a punch. Yeah. Anybody can take one on the chin and you just hit the button and lights out. But jiu-jitsu is such a specific arsenal that I always joke, like when I get the opportunity to roll with a black belt and I'm like, I'm gonna go over here, and they're like, that's cool. It's like, I'm going to go over here. And they're like, that's cool too. I'm going to go over here. Yeah, wherever you want to get tapped out, let's go. That, like, the skill level that you come with into the UFC is just a little bit above everybody else's.
Yeah.
And so do you ever, is there like a cat and mouse? Like, yeah, that's cool. We can go over here. Oh, yeah. Go over here too.
I think
I hope it would be like that, but it's not so easy. It's hard. And
I feel like there's been matches where you've let them get on top of you.
Yeah, I think
you're on the ground.
The thing with Jiu-Jitsu is like, what makes people think sometimes that it's boring is that when you're able to control, you really control.
Yes.
So it's really just one-side fight.
Yeah.
Right? And that's stand-up, even if it's one-side fight, and the fight keep going, let's say it's not a knockout or the guy is just getting beat.
Somebody for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's always, there's the chance of the other guy counter punch.
Yeah.
So even if you're really dominant, there's always so everybody's like looking. And in Jiu-Jitsu, if there's a technical difference, the dominance became so big that it's almost impossible to the other guy to do something. So sometimes people get, he's not so nice. But it's just because the technique is so good, that when you're able to apply, the dominance became really strong.
Yeah.
Has anybody's Jiu-Jitsu ever surprised you?
I'm gonna say one.
In a fight?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, many guys, many fights. My last fight, I didn't think Masvidal would be so good in defending himself. And
he was on
I was really impressed with him.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
I
was really impressed because I think, to me, someone that's also very good at Jiu-Jitsu in the UFC, that you basically, you did what you did to him, was Carlos Condit. That one really surprised me.
Yeah.
What I think that I did is that, what I say to the guys, I was talking to Comprido, a friend of mine, Rodrigo Medeiros, who was 2 times world champion, absolute champion in 1999 and 2000. I said, I try to use your passes because it looks so easy, and I cannot. I said, I cannot do 2 in the gym. But when you add punches with that and you add different striking, changes everything. So when it, not just, even if I don't punch, the guy is waiting, even a movement that you move a little bit your shoulder, he's waiting something, he knows you can punch. So I'm not, nowadays, I didn't train pure Jiu-Jitsu. I trained pure Jiu-Jitsu, but I didn't fight just sport Jiu-Jitsu for many years. So I'm not the best anymore. I'm not, really top level anymore in sport Jiu-Jitsu, how I used to be a really top level guy in sport Jiu-Jitsu. And if you think MMA overall, I'm not the toppest level MMA overall, but what I do well is what nobody does, which is the way I adapt to Jiu-Jitsu for MMA.
Yeah.
The Jiu-Jitsu for the sport of MMA, because it's not self-defense, also it's the sport of MMA.
Yeah.
It's new, and I think I'm a little bit ahead of most people, so it takes a while for them to figure out, and that's what makes me keep winning, because I'm not the best athlete, and I train Jiu-Jitsu with some really top level guys, and sometimes they get me because they are so just Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
But then if you add punches and you add not just you add like you can stand up, go to the wall or to the fence, and then you go down up, and little punch, little strike, then change everything. And that's what I think I do best nowadays.
You figured out that.
Yes.
You figured out that.
Yeah, with a lot of work.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you're smart. You're a smart fighter, a smart jiu-jitsu fighter. Yeah.
What I realized a few years ago was just that I don't need to be the best overall, but I need to be the best in something and ahead in something.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
I dig it.
You've done a very good job at that.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite fighter to watch?
I will tell one thing that I don't say too much, but I don't watch too much fights
now.
No? Because I've been watching fights since I was like
fair.
young.
Yeah. And there's so many now.
The first UFCs, everything. I was crazy about, watch everything. Fight moves, move about fighting and everything. And So nowadays I watch because it's my work, but I don't go like, okay, Saturday night, let's go to a sports bar, or let's go to somebody's house
get together,
have a barbecue and party. Like they asked me to go this Saturday. Oh, let's go to, let's just go eat and have a dinner in some place. I don't. Even if that was Aldo that I really like to see, because I like him very much. But I say I can watch later. Of course, I always follow. I want to see who win and who lost, and because it's something that I like, and I go on Twitter and see people that I follow, the news and the journalists. But I don't care if I watch on Monday in my academy. And
you don't need to see it live.
No, I don't need. I don't need to see it live. Sometimes I can do, but so you ask about favorite fights. I don't know. There's many people that I like to. I appreciate everybody. Actually, it's not. I'm not trying to be kind to everybody, but it's like I really appreciate a technical fighter.
Sure.
If it's a technical fighter, it doesn't matter if it's a striker or grappler or wherever. I really or overall guy. I really appreciate a technical fighter. So every fight that I see, there is something behind not just the brawl, but something behind that takes a lot of work. That's for me is what I appreciate. I like most people would like crazy brawls, because they think it's exciting, and I get excited for 1 minute, and then after that doesn't matter, because it's just you don't see technique. It's just so for me it's interesting for 1 minute, but I can see crowd they get crazy
why they like it.
Yeah, they get crazy for because most people they don't understand a lot about technique, so for them it's the same. Yeah. And it's just more crazy.
For them, seeing a wide punch come in and connect, they're like, oh my God, that was amazing.
It's the same thing that a good hook or something like that.
Yeah. So what do you like to do if you're not watching fighting? Would you rather just go out and have a good dinner with friends, or what do you do to chill?
Yeah. I nowadays with family, I like a lot to be with my kids. Of course, I like if I have a chance, I like to go to the beach or to the nature near São Paulo, because we have a very beautiful beaches in Brazil, and the nature is beautiful. I like the rainforest very much, and I like to be with my friends. Some friends they play guitar and percussion. They come to my house and they play a little bit, and it's nice to be with them. I like to be to old friends from high school and even fundamental school that I still have.
Really?
Yeah, that's one reason that I think I never moved to Brazil, because I'm very attached to my friends, and family and everybody there, because and I know if I come here I would miss that really, really much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We have a big problems in Brazil, especially with my family now. I really sometimes feel that you're afraid with your kids because of the violence, and the criminal stuff, and you're always kind of worrying. And here, of course, is much safer. But
here it's safer.
United States in general.
Oh, okay.
I don't mean LA, but but it's still safer.
Okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah. In Brazil, if you ask, like São Paulo, a big city, almost everybody got assaulted by a guy with a gun.
Trying to rob you for
trying to rob you with a gun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot.
So that's not so common here, even in LA, right?
Well,
there's a lot of purse snatchers and stuff, right? Or just people that are
but that's not violence. That's just
I mean,
but it's not bad. One day I was coming back to my house, and I passed through a street that is kind of dangerous, avenue, and 3 guys jump in front of my car with guns this.
God. You're in Los Angeles?
No, in São Paulo. They want me to stop. And I just run over, but I put my head like this because I said I hope they don't shoot, because I don't know if it was a real gun or a fake gun. But they could shoot, so I just went to the side and tried to run over. They jump over, but they got some people there, and this kind of things that is always when the difference. I used. Back in 2010, I was living in San Diego for a while, and the difference is San Diego, is very calm. Yeah. The difference when you stop in a traffic in São Paulo in a light during the night, you're all the time like this. you look in here. Since, you know, that's something that you use it since we're a kid. You look in the mirror here, here, the front, everything around.
Nobody's stopping to text and out there. Nobody's going to be
on
their phone.
Some people do, but it's danger.
Yeah.
So people always looking. During the night, people stop a little bit and just go to the red lights.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to stay there.
They don't want to.
And I remember I was in San Diego, you just stop and you can just relax, you know.
Just hang out.
It's totally different feeling, and that's how it's supposed to be. But if we grow up, you know, like the first time I get somebody tried to rob me, I was like 11 years old. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell does an 11-year-old have?
I know, right? What do
we
they
had
try
a backpacks. Me and my friend, we are biking
What do
back
they think,
to
it's full
the
of money?
house. They think there was maybe a wallet of the. So they pull my friends, they run away, and they leave, but they steal his backpack.
Is the income?
So that's.
Is it because there are very, very poor people and?
Yeah, I think that of course
because that's where crime comes from.
Exactly, it's social
income.
difference. Yeah, it's not. You know, other problem. There's social difference.
Yeah.
There's big social difference, and it, you know. Of course, people very poor and they see, you know, the TV says every day you gotta buy that.
Yep.
People start to
Consumers
figure out,
And it's sad because most of them that I think commit those crimes aren't necessarily doing it because they enjoy.
Of course not.
Taking something
people
from
have
you.
to eat.
Yeah.
It's just to survive. It's a survival.
There's all kind of course, yeah. Mainly it is. There's all kind. There's good people. There's bad people, but
of course.
I mean, people get involved with crime, not just necessarily everybody's bad, you know.
Yeah.
And they're just making mistakes. And
of course.
And that's why, you know. But I'm very attached to people in Brazil, and I, you know, friends and old friends, everything. So
it's your home, of course.
Yeah.
That's where your heart is.
So I think I would miss that. And plus I see all my friends, they come here. It's funny, like San Diego, there's a lot of Brazilians. But when I go there and they meet, they said, we just meet when you come here. I said, but you're here all the time, all this. I said, you don't meet too much, and because everybody's focused on their own thing.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, still, you know, we're still meeting each other a lot. So I don't know why when people move here,
is there
they
much more social?
much more
atmosphere down there.
I think so.
I think it has to do with culture too. I think it's definitely a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same thing here. Like my family's from Cuba, and I have a lot of family out here. But like yesterday, there was a festival down the street here, a Cuban festival.
Yes.
And for me, I thought I would get all my family to come, my friends and stuff, and like you know, because this is your culture. There's not that much. There's not that much around here. So now they're having this festival. You can go, and I got one person to come. And I'm like, why?
In LA, I think it's traffic. Honestly, I think traffic is the thing that stops everybody from doing everything in LA because traffic is so awful.
That is part of it. That is part of it.
It is crazy.
You know what I mean? Somebody's like, come in, you're on the east side. So we're on the east side close to Pasadena. And if somebody's like, come to Venice, you're like,
no.
That's
true. That's true. It is.
That's too far.
Traffic is a killer.
2-hour drive.
Yeah, it is. São Paulo we have heavy traffic, but here it's crazy.
Yeah. When so my husband is from Arizona, and when he and I first started dating, and he was considering moving out here, I was like, so I gotta warn you about the traffic. Like LA is the coolest city ever, but imagine the worst traffic you've ever seen in your life, and then multiply that by like 10. Yeah, and he was like, oh, and he got here and he was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
But then you just deal with it.
Yeah.
All right.
One
more question. Do you want your kids to train in jiu-jitsu?
Oh.
Yeah, they are training already. Actually,
yes.
the funny thing is, the girl trains since she was really young, but I don't force them at all because I think that's the wrong thing to do.
Of course, yeah.
I take her to play, and I was able to manage that. A friend of mine is teaching near my house, and some of her friends and girls and boys from the school, they are training there also, so it's kind of fun because they know each other from the school, and they go. So she's 6, but she's like very young. She goes with me to the academy, and around like 4 she starts training like once or twice a week. And the boy, he doesn't care too much. He goes sometimes. Right? He's 4. He goes, but he say no, I don't want. And sometimes he lays on the mat and he stays there. but I don't force to because I don't want him to get, you know.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially I think with kids whose parents are involved in it, they might not see it as much as like an activity so much as
dad's job.
This is dad's job.
It's more like a job.
Yeah, I'm just going with daddy to work,
yes.
so it's not as fun that way
yes.
sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not as exciting.
But of course I wish both, I don't care if they want to be a fighters or not, and I think it's a very hard job.
Yeah.
So I don't know even if I want that, you know, but it's their choice, it's not my choice. Sure. But what I want, and if I could say to them and advise to learn, you know, to get a black belt and I mean not to mean the black belt, but you know, to be to learn the martial arts and to train for two reasons mainly. One, because it's for your health. When you used to do a sport since you're a kid, you're gonna use it to that, and it's good for your all your life.
You're more likely to stay active.
To stay active, and if you don't, I see people they didn't train too much and when they were younger, and it's very hard to hook them up after you know some age. And the second, you know, especially for the girl to learn how to protect herself. Because you know it's a martial art who really works for girls, and I want her, and the boy too, of course, but the girl may to her how to protect herself. It's very important nowadays, I think.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. Do you have any other words of wisdom you'd like to give? So I mentioned most of our listeners do jiu-jitsu. A lot of them are white belts, beginners. I don't know. Is there anything that you'd like to share?
You know, it's very cool to be here. Yeah, and there's nothing special that I want to say. It's always cool to share conversation with people who love jiu-jitsu too, like you girls, and I hope to see you again, and hope to you guys should come train next time on MMA.
We would love to. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Next time for
Thank
sure.
you so much. We can't wait to see you fight again and fight for the belt and just continue this amazing example that you're setting for. I think that jiu-jitsu can change the world.
Yes,
and
for sure.
people like you are going to show the world that. And thank you for everything that you do for our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's been an honor to have you on here.
Yes.
And thank you to our friend Danny Perez
Jason
here from Miami.
Nathan.
He made this happen.
Yeah.
Jason and Nathan for letting us be here and do this.
Beautiful gym. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Demian Maia, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
The man. All right.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.